When you ask the draft experts what they think about Trey Lance, you get a variety of opinions. Some like him enough to take him in the top 3, while others are pretty hesitant, citing his lack of experience and his hit-or-miss play style. There really is no true consensus on him like some of the other quarterbacks in this class. Actually, the only real consensus on Trey Lance is that he's the biggest boom or bust quarterback in this year's draft. Before we begin this video though, all the plays I'm going to show you are from Lance's 2019 season. He was only 19 years old at this time. Obviously, that's still very young. If you didn't know, North Dakota State only played in one game in 2020, but a lot of the observations I had from his 2019 season still held true for that game as well. So with that being said, let's first talk about his scheme. North Dakota State is a very run-heavy offense. They run outside zone stretch out of I formation and shotgun, and they run a lot of fly sweeps with their receivers. They also use a ton of zone read options and inside veer, where the quarterback will attack the defense with his legs. From a passing standpoint, a large part of this offense is using the run game in order to execute play action. Trey Lance ran those plays very well. He does a really good job of selling the fake, and he makes the bootleg look pretty believable. Outside of these plays, they use a small amount of quick game using stick and hitch concepts, but their offense is surprisingly vertical. When they aren't running floods off of boots, they use a lot of seam and middle read type throws in order to stretch the defense vertically. When I watch his film, Lance does a really good job making throws on all 3 levels of the field. He's very dangerous as a true pass and run threat for the Bisons. He's probably the biggest threat in the entire class when you compare him to the other quarterbacks. He's simply that big and strong. Now, from a trait perspective, Lance does a good job using his athleticism and strength to break arm tackles while he steps up in the pocket. If there's one thing you can say about him is that he can improvise extremely well. He'll escape the pocket to extend the play, all while keeping his eyes down the field. He can make every throw you need him to make, especially when he's on the move. Purely looking at his arm talent, it's clear that Lance throws with a lot of velocity. The pass comes out quickly, even though his mechanics do have a bit of a dip in his motion. Generally speaking though, I'm not concerned about his arm strength at all. In fact, I think it can only get better. He doesn't always shift his weight and use his leg drive through his motion. Once he does this more consistently, I feel like the ball will only come out quicker. That'll be a huge help from at the next level. While Lance is big, strong, and fast, honestly my huge worry comes down to his accuracy. He's one of the least accurate quarterbacks in this class. His adjusted completion percentage was only 72% back in 2019. That's good for 40th of 62 quarterbacks with more than 250 passes. Now, adjusted completion percentage isn't the best metric to measure accuracy. Lance's average depth of target was actually near the top of this class. The Bisons don't really rely on screens and underneath throws nearly as much as some of the other quarterbacks. While this may be the case, Pro Football Focus tracked his placement and they had him at just 44% accurate passes that were thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. This is pretty bad. You're looking for more like 50 to 60% at the bare minimum, so this is definitely concerning. To add to this, Football Outsiders and their metrics had his true accuracy at 72%. This is the worst among the top 5 quarterbacks in this draft. Additionally, his accuracy under pressure dropped down to 52%, which is also pretty bad. Similar to that last stat, this is clearly an area of weakness. We really should be concerned about this translating to the next level. The simple truth is that Trey Lance struggled with placement, he struggled with placement under pressure, and since the offense created so many wide open opportunities, he's also never really had to throw into tight windows. Now, outside of placement, another thing Lance really needs to work on is throwing with anticipation. This improved throughout the year, but he'll still need to work on this at the next level. He's just a bit hit or miss in this respect. My hope though is that this will come with more experience. I think he can make that transition. Moving on, and from a pocket standpoint, Lance doesn't have a ton of experience moving and shifting around a pocket. North Dakota had a pretty dominant line back in 2019. This gave him hours of protection and allowed him to go through his reads. I will say that he did a pretty good job sensing pressure from the edge, and Lance is always willing to step up, but he just hasn't learned the subtlety of the position just yet. He definitely showed flashes, which is great to see, but this will definitely need to be worked on. In my opinion, this will also take time. Now, the final thing that we need to talk about when it comes to Lance is that from every scouting report and every source that I trust, they've all said the same thing. They all say that he has a really strong work ethic. They all say he's a true film junkie when it comes to studying the game, and this all manifests itself on the field. North Dakota State allowed him to change protections at the line of scrimmage. This actually dated back to his time during his 2019 season, which is extremely impressive to see. Not many quarterbacks are trusted to do this, and not only this, but his coaches trusted him in just his first year starting. This is just another reason why I like his upside so much, because it shows me that he's more than just an athlete with a big arm. Now, to wrap up this video, let's go over his pro comparison. The player I see when I watch his film is Cam Newton. Both are big and strong athletes, both are hard to take down, both are threats with the ball in their hands, neither had a ton of experience in college, and both dealt with that same issues with ball placement that never really went away in the NFL. While this may be the case, they both more than make up for it with their arm strength, their mobility, and their upside. Both are very intelligent players, and because of this, I feel like Lance is one of the highest ceilings in the entire draft. So this begs the question, will Lance be good at the next level? As much as I want to answer this question with a definitive answer, I unfortunately can't. What I do know is that he's definitely worth a top 10 pick based on everything we've already talked about. He has all the traits you look for in terms of a pure prospect, and if you're patient with his development, Lance has a good shot of becoming a top-tier quarterback. Well, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Next up, we're going to jump around and cover Javonte Williams, who's one of my favorite running backs in this class. As an update, here is my current big board. All these videos are available on this channel, so make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks again, and you can find me on Twitter at Samuel R. Gold.